A reward of the winner of souls. The reward of the winner of souls, God says. We're giving them nuggets here. When the redeemed stand before God, precious souls will respond to their names who are there because of the faithful, patient efforts put forth in their behalf. And entreaties and earnest persuasion to flee to the stronghold. Mean all the work you're doing to try to save people and to convince them and help them. God will honor that. Thus, who in this world have been laborers together with God will receive their reward. Now, again, we're giving nuggets from the last day events to say this is what we believe God has planned for us through Ellen G. White's visions. And I like to hear this. This gives us hope, right? I mean, what we got to lose, right? Let's go. When the gates of the beautiful city on high are swung back on their glittering hinges, and the nations, let's go until it gets dark so we can't see anymore in this one. And the nations that have kept the truth shall enter in. Crowns of glory will be placed on their heads, and they will ascribe honor and glory and majesty to God. And at that time, some will come to you and will say, if it had not been for the words you spoke to me in kindness, if it had not been for your tears and supplications and earnest efforts, I should never have seen the king of his beauty. So people, hold on, don't give up, don't give up, because people don't listen to you and they ignore you sometimes and walk by you and shun you and have the dogs come after you and hose you down and stuff with water and sprinkle and stuff on you. They can change. Nebuchadnezzar changed. You know, Samson could be easily saved in heaven. Nebuchadnezzar could change, I believe so. Many people who thought would be lost will be saved. You never know. Let's see what God has planned. What a reward is this? How insignificant is the praise of human beings in this earthly transient life in comparison with the infinite rewards that await the faithful in the future immortal life. Words of encouragement to self-supporting workers. Remember, I always see people talking about stuff like in the Emmys or like awards, the Oscars. They give each other, hey, you got a prize for this, you got a prize for this. I'm all happy and clap. They're happy and clap. Yeah. And I'm like, but what about the ones for God? Are they like, you know, do they understand how much more significant is that issue? It's getting blurry when I get closer. Let me see. Okay, we get the light, right? Let's get more on this. Here, our disposition unchanged. Dispositions, how our behavior, like that. Our behavior in terms of how we act, our temperament, right? If you would be a saint in heaven, you must first be a saint on earth. So people, if you ain't be nice and getting along together, you gotta get it together. If you don't want to be next to the people on the table here, it's gonna be a problem in heaven. Same thing you hear all the time. You gotta be prepared now. The traits of character. Some people you need to leave from their table if it's not of God. So it goes both ways, right? The traits of character you cherish in life will not be changed by death or by the resurrection. All of us, will come up from the grave if we are not alive when God comes, right? I hope we're all alive. I hope we get to see it. I want to see God coming in my life, and I pray He does in your lifetime too. If you will come up from the grave with the same disposition you manifested in your home and in society. Jesus does not change the character at His coming. The work of transformation must be done now. Our daily lives are determining our destiny. Defects of character must be repented of and overcome through the grace of Christ. And a symmetrical character must be formed while in this probationary state, that we may be fitted for the mansions above. Okay? Heaven's peaceful and loving atmosphere. The peace and harmony of the heavenly courts will not be marred by the presence of one who is rough or unkind. So mean people and bad behavior, get it together. God's not going to tolerate it up there. Everything in heaven is noble and elevated. All seek the interest and happiness of others. No one devotes himself to looking out and caring for itself only, like selfishness. It is the chief joy of all holy beings to witness the joy and happiness of those around them. Listen to the natural sound around us. That's a lot of cicadas. It's getting dark everywhere, and they're really out in force, boy. Maybe I got to talk louder, right? Let's see how it goes. I seemed to be there where all was peace, where no stormy conflict of earth could ever come. Heaven, a kingdom of righteousness where all the holy and pure and blessed are congregated. 10,000 times 10,000 and thousands of thousands living and walking in happy, pure intimacy, praising God and the Lamb who sitteth on the throne, loving each other, right? Not in no big or, bad, intimate. People can take that word in a bad way. Not in some kind of bad thing like an orgy fest or something. Not that kind of intimacy we're talking about. We're talking about real intimacy of God, communion, closeness, trust and belief and love in God. Okay? I have to say that because, I didn't want to say it, but I have to say it because, people can take everything as the wrong thing, That even some words, some people use the words discourse, some use the words as they use and people say, not discourse, and people say, oh, it means this. Let's take it out of the gutter. Let's read this. Let's do the right thing, right? Their voices, right? It says here. It says their voices were in perfect harmony. They never do each other wrong. Princes of heaven, the potentates of this mighty realm, are rivals only in good, seeking the happiness and joy of each other. The greatest there is least in self-esteem, and the least is greatest in this gratitude and wealth of love. There are no dark errors to cloud the intellect, right? Truth and knowledge, clear, strong, and perfect, have chased every doubt away, and no gloom of doubt casts its baleful shadow upon its happy inhabitants. No voices of contention mar the sweet and perfect peace of heaven. Its inhabitants know no sorrow, no grief, no tears. All is perfect in harmony, in perfect order and perfect bliss. That's what heaven is going to be like. I'm going to take it inside in a little bit so you can hear it better without the extra background noise. Heaven is a home where sympathy is alive. Some people like to hear the cicada in the back, but they're really loud. Heaven is a home where sympathy is alive in every heart, expressed in every work. Love reigns there. There are no jarring elements, no discord, right? No discord. So I don't see why they call these apps sometimes discord. Some of them cause real discord between family members of kids getting involved in bad stuff on the internet. So discord, that word, I don't like that word. No discord or contentious or war of words is there. No temptation to sin. No tree of knowledge of good and evil will afford opportunity for temptation. Here again, no tree of knowledge, right, of good and evil will afford opportunity for temptation. No tempter is there. No possibility of wrong. All right? Satan is done. Sin is over. I heard shouts of triumph from the angels and from the redeemed saints, which sound like 10,000 musical instruments, because they were to be no more annoyed and tempted by Satan. And because the inhabitants of other worlds, listen to this, people keep asking, what about the other worlds? And because the inhabitants of other worlds, you see the word here? Of other worlds were delivered from his presence and his temptations. So in other words, Satan's not going to be tempting anybody anymore. It's over with him. But we now can see other worlds and meet other people. I like the aliens I see on TV with these big eyes and big heads and long fingers and stuff. They might look just as good, maybe even prettier than many of us, right? You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Communion with the Father and the Son. The people of God are privileged to hold up open communion with the Father and the Son. We shall see him face to face without a dimming veil between. We shall ever dwell with and enjoy the light of his precious countenance. My heart leaps with joy at the cheering prospect. Heaven is where Christ is. Heaven would not be heaven to those who love Christ if he were not there. You know what I mean? There will be a close and tender relationship between God and the risen saints. Casting at the feet of the Redeemer the crowns that he has placed on our heads, and touching our golden harps, we shall fill all heaven with praise to him that sitteth on the throne. If during this life they are loyal to God, they will at last see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads. Revelation 22 verse 4. And what is the happiness of heaven but to see God? What greater joy could come to the sinner saved by the grace of Christ than to look upon the face of God and to know him as a father? That's good. I'll continue this other part inside. God bless you before it gets too dark. God bless you all.